Okay, we continue on with this question. A flat piece of rectangular cardboard rests on top of the piece of corrugated cardboard. So you can see it here. This line represents this cardboard sitting on top of it. Then it says in the cavities. Now that's just a fancy word for the, like the holes, the gaps. I don't know why they can't just use simple words. This isn't English, this is maths. But in the holes here, so that hole, that hole, that hole, that hole. So in the cavities between the corrugated cardboard and the corrugated cardboard and the flat cardboard, long glass rods in the shape of square prisms are laid within the uppermost side, resting next to the flat cardboard. So as you can see here, we've got these things, and they are square glass rods that are placed inside these cavities. The cross-section showing the glass rods and the cardboard layers are shown below. Okay, on the same set of axes as part E, sketch the graph representing the cross-section of the flat piece of cardboard. So as you can see here, I've drawn this there. We need to draw that on our graph. What's that going to be? Well, I know that this point right here is 0, 1, right? I also know that the amplitude is 1. So that means that if I had to go 1 up from this point here will be 0, 2. So that means that this line here is y is equal to 2. That's what that line is going to be. So now I have to come up to my graph and I have to draw that in. So we'll come up here and I'm going to grab, say, an orange, and I'm going to come to this point right here, 0, 2, and I'm going to draw, and this is where you would use your ruler, a line like that. Like that. And now we can just fix this up a little bit as well. So that's that point right here. It's touching at each point there. And as you can see, I would actually alter this graph now, just so it is actually touching, like it should be touching this point right here. Now, of course, these little mistakes you won't make because it's far easier to do this on a piece of paper than it is to do it on a tablet. Otherwise, that's the excuse I'm using, people, and I'm sticking to it. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. This point right here, we said was 22.5 and 1. And that means that this other point here is going to be 22.5 and 2. So 22.5 and 2, 0 and 2, we've got a straight line there, which is touching 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, now we come here, sketch the graph. So I always like to, in a test, I've done this, I've done it. For the function drawn in part I, write down the rule and domain. Well, what's the rule going to be? It's going to be y is equal to 2, and then the domain is going to be from 0 to 22.5, just like that. 0 to 22.5. The other way you could write this is go 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 22.5. Either of those would be acceptable ways to write down the domain. But as long as you've got the rule and the domain, you're all good. So hopefully you found this part helpful, and I'll see you in the next part.